All right, guys. Good evening again. Good evening. Trev is here. Trev is here, and we are going to have a little discussion this evening. And the topic we are talking about is let me put the banner up so you all can see. That's what we are talking about this evening, a bitten cookie or a whole cookie. Which is easier to save? So some of that got cut off there. Which is easier to sell, guys, a bitten cookie or a whole cookie? All right, you all know what I'm talking about. So a few nights ago, we were having that discussion. Hey, Princess Cher, how you doing, honey? So a few nights ago, there was the discussion on Unstoppable about how you doing, honey? How you doing? About one caller said, she has had one kid. Yes, listen, this is what we're talking about. So I'm just doing a little review on the story that Unstoppable did on Monday. I'm sorry I couldn't do it yesterday, but I'm doing it this evening. So the lady said she has two children. She had one child, the relationship didn't work out. She had another child, that relationship didn't work out. And now she's holding on to the cookie because she refused to engage sexually with anybody or have another child with anybody unless she is married. Now that I found that to be extremely interesting. And so I thought, you know what? Let me do a live on this thing and let's see what my viewers think about it. I'm doing, what's up, brother? How you doing? How you doing? You hear what I'm talking about today? Yeah. So I have my own opinions about when to keep the cookie, when to give the cookie. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. Everybody's life is their own, and everybody do as they please. I agree with the caller somewhat that it's her cookie. She can hold on to it as long as she wants. There should be no force. There should be nobody with a button over her head to say, "Give me your cookie." It's hers. She can hold on to it as long as she wants to. But what I'm saying is, how would men perceive us women who have had children? I have had children and relationships don't work, and I had children, relationship don't work. That's just Dwayne, that's just how life is. And for me, I have not allowed it to hold me back, hold me down, and say, "Oh, I'm not having any more children if nobody marries me." I mean, I haven't done that to myself, but it is for me to make that decision, and it is for that person to make that decision. Anybody else who wants to make that decision, it is theirs to make. You don't have to give up your cookie if you don't want to. And if your precondition is that you must be married before you give up the cookie, at what point would a man be comfortable with a woman saying, "I won't give up my cookie unless you marry me"? So I want to hear from a man about how he would feel if a woman who has had broken relationships, who have had children before, is going to hold on to the cookie for him so that he might have to be paying the ransom, so to speak, the retribution that she's carrying for those who have wronged her. He's now going to have to pay the price for it. So before I go any further, I'm going to bring in my guest here. He's going to tell me how he feels about a situation like that. All right, G, what's up?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm good. You been hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. So we are talking about the females who after broken relationships are starting to hold on to their cookie, so to speak, unless the next person in line marries them. They're not giving up the cookie and they're not having children anymore, unless. As a man, talk to me. How do you feel about that? You meet somebody and this is the precondition before you all can go forward with a relationship. What would you say to her?
Well, first, I don't think I'll be comfortable with dating a woman like that.
Or you wouldn't be comfortable?
No, no, no. Um, as we Jamaican man have the saying, you can't buy pussy in a bag,
Okay. All right.
you know. So
Hmm. I understand that perfectly. So you
right,
don't think the relationship between you and her would go any further once she puts down those preconditions?
no, 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 because she had kids before. She had other children before, and she
Hmm.
didn't put down those stipulation. And after she have kids, she want to put down all of those stipulation. I don't think that's fair for the other
Not,
person. I don't think that's fair for the other person she's gonna date. You
but
understand?
I understand. But remember now, we know she's not being. It's not about being fair to the other person. It's about being fair to herself. It's about taking charge and taking responsibility for herself and her actions. So you don't think you could
And
go along with that?
no, because I have to take responsibility for my action also.
Mm.
I have to look out for my well-being too.
So your well-being is to
I
get the
don't want
puss.
to
You
no,
don't want the puss in the
not
bag.
not necessarily, but I don't want to be forced into certain thing, like I have to force into marry this woman because I want the cookie. I don't think so. It's more than that to a relationship. Hello?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, it's more than that to a relationship, you know? Cookie is just
Hmm.
one part, cookie is just one aspect of a relationship.
All right. So you are saying that the relationship would be over. You wouldn't go any further.
No, because it's not about just sex alone, but it seems like she already gave me ultimatum, like, to marry her. I'm not into that ultimatum stuff, man. So for me, I would tell her, say, you know what? Good luck. I wish her all the best. I want to fight with her. I want to force her into anything. I just tell her, say, well, I'm not that kind of guy.
All right. So my friend here says that somebody said that we should wait until married before engaging in sex.
Well, she should have done that from the first before she have any kids.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to even hit on that part right now because but I'm just showing. We're just talking about that part. But look at what my friend here says. What do you
Yeah,
think about that? She said, then again, the cookie can no good either.
that's my point. But that's my point. But I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it too loud. I don't want to be, But that's my point.
What you mean? What you mean the cookie can no good? What could be not good about the cookie? I
A lot of
mean,
a lot of things, man. Come on.
come on now, the cookie already. She already have two kids.
That
She's
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. From a man perspective, we know what we're looking for. We know what we want. You
okay.
understand? When we hit that treasure, we know.
All right.
We know this is the treasure
But
we want to.
a whole lot of time that hitting that treasure still don't lead y'all to marrying us. So hey,
No, 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 no. There's more come with that. Not just
okay,
the cookie. It's more. You understand?
okay.
More chemistry. You know what I mean? A lot of
Uh-huh.
other stuff come with that. You connect with the woman. You understand? You see where you can make life with that woman. You like her energy. 'Cause it's all about the energy too. If you're not feeling her energy, then you have to keep it moving. You understand?
Well, that is your opinion, but I mean, if you think it's a certain energy between a man and a woman that makes that man marry that
Yes,
woman before even getting the cookie.
yes, yeah,
So
yeah. My, yeah. That's my opinion. Yeah,
okay,
you have to have that energy between you and that woman. There have to be an energy between you and that woman.
so you would marry somebody without getting the cookie if you all have a good energy,
Yeah, 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 yeah. It all depends on the energy.
but you
That that
wouldn't
that.
continue with. But hold on a second, you would marry her without getting the cookie if you and her have a good energy.
Well,
But
it's a
hold on,
risk, eh?
hold on, G. Listen to me carefully. You would marry her without getting the cookie if you and her have a good energy together.
And depends
But
on where. Go ahead.
but if she already has children and
Right.
trying to hold on to the cookie, you gonna walk.
Yeah.
Explain that for me.
All right. If this woman is maybe a virgin, so I guess she don't know what sex is all about, right? So maybe I would say, okay, I'm the first one for this woman. Yes, and so obviously the cookie might be good. I gotta enjoy this cookie because I'm the first one for her. But if I'm the third and fourth in line, you know,
You think at that point you should just give it up?
yeah, because I'm taking a risk right there, big risk. I'm gambling.
You could
Is
have
that is
fooled
that,
me.
is that a gamble?
Is that how you all really think? So if you third
Sometimes
and fourth in line and fifth in line, you think it's a gamble. What could the gamble be that's not there if you are the first in line?
because a lot of us make those kind of mistakes and then regret after.
What
Oh
would
yeah,
what could be the regret though? I mean,
a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff.
well, listen. If that woman wants to hold her cookie, I
Why
applaud her
not?
if she wants to hold her cookie.
Me too.
When men think like they just want to get into the bag, they don't care. Because you hear what you say. You say if you are first in line, that means that she a virgin. You would probably marry her.
Mm-hmm.
You would marry her even without
Maybe,
the cookie.
probably, yeah, yeah, probably.
But if she has children and you are third, fourth in line, you're taking a risk. So
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't marry her
No,
off the bat. You would have to taste
no.
the cookie. So now you want somebody to come after you and be sixth in line.
I'm king.
You, I mean, I don't even know what kind of ism to call this. I don't even know. Uh,
Ism, schism.
I don't know what kind of ism is this because, I mean, I know you're not the only man who thinks like that.
No.
Princess Sherry, the cookie, I guess the cookie is usually better after. But then again, you can be. Exactly. Now, look at what my friend here says. She says, but then again, you can be fourth in line and the cookie can still be good.
I know. I know that. I know that. It's not about the good and all of that. It's just a stipulation.
So you're punishing her because she finally has stipulation, because she finally found herself and she has finally decided that hell no, I'm not going to just sleep with somebody who possibly might get me pregnant and then walk away again. He will have to marry me. Is that how it is? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but that's a stipulation. It's like, you know, she almost have forced you to do this. Unless, and you have, else not, you have to walk away.
But you know, a woman with 3 and 4 kids could have good cookie, right?
It's not about the good or bad cookie. It's just about why should I, the fourth man in line or the third man in line, and you want me to marry you? Why you don't ask those other guys before me to marry you? I'm pressured them to marry you before you have a child for them. Hey,
I
she
know
just
they're
giving,
pressuring you.
yeah, she just giving me the cookie. There's no child there yet for me. Just a cookie. We could walk away, nobody know. No, nobody know if she giving the cookie, yes or no. Nobody have to know.
Okay.
But then you see kids.
So you know
Then
the cookie was given up.
exactly, you can't lie about that. But she could say, for instance, she never have any children. She could lie and say she's a virgin.
Well,
She
that
could
is
lie.
true.
Yeah, because there's no children to show. Say, listen, you have kids already.
I think you and Dwayne think the same thing. You see what Dwayne says here? She be waiting for a long time, waiting on me.
Exactly.
Dwayne,
Exactly.
you think just like my caller here. You think just like him. You she be waiting for a long time, waiting on you. She be waiting on you just to marry her before she have kids or give you the cookie.
Uh,
Hold
it,
up.
it's just like when you stood up the woman, you know. You know when when you're getting married, and
Uh-huh.
you stood up your
You stood
bride.
up the woman. Mhm.
Yeah, I one of those things, you know. So she looking, you ain't gonna show up.
Oh boy. I
Hmm.
mean, it's almost like this the remnants of patriarchy is just overwhelming us as women because any decision we make for ourselves, it seems as though we have to get a man's approval for us to move forward.
Not
We are
necessarily, but
we're moving away from that. But as I listen to you and I see my friend Dwayne here commenting from a man's perspective, it tells me how much men really value the decisions women make about their own bodies.
no, that's not the point. I'm not going to agree with you.
Okay, we
I,
can agree to disagree.
good. It's not about the decision a woman make about
Hmm.
the body. It, they should make the decision much earlier so they don't seem like they are flip flopping.
Michelle, how you doing? All right. I'm going to show you this comment here by Dwayne. Dwayne says, It is it's an important aspect of the relationship to know your partner's love life intimately in and out of the bed, sofa, and floor. Really? I bet you're going to agree with him.
100%.
Yeah, it's okay to know your partner's intimate relationships. Hey Stushi, how you doing from the past? Um but she has a right to her body and she has the right to say whether or not she wants to engage in sexual activity before she gets married and whether or not she wants to risk getting pregnant and then having the man walk away. Lots
And
of us have children and
and
the men walk away and we are left to raise the children by ourselves and we do it. I mean, and we have the right to hold on to the cookie. I have
there's
5 kids and I'm holding on to my cookie right now. You say, is that a bad thing?
no, that's not a bad thing.
It's too late for me.
No,
So I mean,
you will find that guy who will come along, yeah, and just fall right in love with you, right? No
I, I'm
problem,
I'm not saying no, but he can fall in love without the cookie, can he?
brother. They walk together.
Oh, they walked. Oh, they walk together. Is that how it
Yeah,
is?
yeah.
Okay, so I have to fall in line with everybody else because he's going to judge me and say, listen,
He
you already have 5 kids. You're not going to hold me hostage
he ain't gonna judge you.
to
There's
make
nothing
me
to
pay the price for.
no. There's nothing to judge about. But how we gonna fall in love? You're gonna fall in love with the lady, right? You should share those intimate, you know, moment
I should
together,
share the intimate moment with him
together.
before. And then if he don't want the cookie, he walks away. I'm just starting to, I'm like, my head count is gone up.
Hey, don't look at it like that. Don't look at it like that. You can't look at it like that.
How else should I look at it then?
It's a natural thing for people to have sex, right? It's natural.
It is natural.
Good. So we shouldn't look at it as a head count.
I'm, I'm
But
just
to
I'm just using the terms that are out there today where people are
yeah,
talking about
but
head count and all this other nonsense. But what I'm saying is, I mean, I have the right to hold on to my cookie. Just like that lady said, she was holding on to her cookie at this point because she has given up the cookie, she's gotten kids and she ain't getting no ring yet. And she's holding on to the cookie right now until she gets married. And if she doesn't get married, she's still holding on to her cookie.
nothing wrong with that, you know. Nothing wrong with that.
It's
But
just
you
that if
can
she comes across 100 men like you, she gonna end up like you and Dwayne. She gonna end up dying with that cookie because
And it's yeah, exactly. She can go right back with the cookie. That's okay. Yes,
so
sir.
what's left of the cookie you all ain't going to partake
No,
unless
no,
you all ain't
no,
going to
no,
partake if she has that stipulation.
no. Because I feel like you're forcing me into something I don't want to. Maybe I don't want to be in at the moment. What if I don't want to get married right away? What if I don't want to get? What if I'm not ready to get married?
But you're ready for cookie, eh?
It's natural between a man and a woman. Not wrong with that.
All right. I get your point. I get your point. Let me see what Stushi has to say about this. Stushi said something here. All right, let me show you what Stushi said here. She says test driving is important. There's contracept.
Amen. Amen. See, she understand. You can't. You cannot buy a car unless you test drive the car. You know how good the car can perform.
But you expect the woman now to give you her all even before you even marry her. So when you decide you're not gonna marry her, you take off and you are gone.
No, no, no.
And
Hang on, 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 right there. She not
uh,
giving me. She not giving me her all. No, it doesn't work like that. She not giving me her all.
all right, correct me, correct me.
Yeah, we sharing something together.
Okay,
So whatever I get, I receive from that. She receiving the same thing.
all right, all right. So she said you have to test drive the car. So you
I
have to.
agree. I agree.
So if in this case, under your government, your policy right now that says that you have to test drive the car. So everybody you're going to test drive that car.
I don't want you to just break it down and make it like it's a test driving thing, you know. But at the end of the day, look, a woman and a man, they have to share that intimate time with each other.
Mm-hmm.
She benefit, the man benefit. Nobody walk away as a loser. We all walk away as a winner.
Okay, so Stush Pumpkin said the problem is getting pregnant. She said, "Don't get sharing is caring, just don't get pregnant."
Exactly.
And that brings me to the other question. So when you say just don't get pregnant, is it because pregnancy tells the story?
Most of the
That you
time.
said before that when you
Most
have
of
the
the
kid,
time.
so that means that you gave the cookie because of course, yes, if you hadn't given the cookie, there wouldn't be a child.
Right.
So that says it all.
Right.
So if you are giving up the cookie without having children, it's perfectly okay.
Of course. Of course.
So
Nothing
is
wrong
it
with that.
something that is going to bother the person individually, or they're worried about what society is going to say? Because I've always been a free spirit, and I used to be worried about what society is going to think, what they're going to say, until I freed myself from that self-imposed captivity. And at this point, I really don't care. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I don't make it bother me anymore. I'm getting out of that mentality of being worried so much about what people are going to say that I don't do what I want to do and I don't say what I want to say because I'm more worried about what you are going to say. You meaning the collective public, what they're going to say and what they're going to think. So I, being one woman who has had children not married to their father and have children, I don't, not all my kids are the same dad. But are you saying to me now that I don't have any reason to hold my cookie because I've already had children?
What I'm saying,
Like I don't have that right anymore. Like I've lost that right because my cookie is bitten. My cookie is bitten, has been bitten all the way around. Right? So now that my cookie has been bitten all the way around, it's harder for me to sell that cookie than it is for, you mentioned the virgin earlier, to sell her whole cookie or her supposedly whole cookie only because she has no children. So there is nobody to say, well, since she has no children, she could very well be a virgin. Talk to me. She has the
Um,
right because she has no children, but I don't because I've had children.
I don't know why women so hung up on having sex without married. I don't see the big deal. I don't see the big deal about it. You know, it's like say everybody want to get married, but sometimes when you get married, it's not for you. The marriage is not going the way it's supposed to go.
So, all right, that brings me to another question. Is marriage, if you have to say to me, well, you can go ahead and have all the sex you want, but don't have any children, so everybody will think that you are still pure and a virgin, and I carry on that charade until I'm 45. Until I'm 45 years old, and I believe that, oh my God, time is running out. My eggs are cracked and draining. I need to hurry and get married. I'm in a hurry to get married, and I meet you, and I'm 45 and I have no children. What
And
would you think of me then when it comes to my cookie? And I say, you will have to marry me before.
but I mean, if you have been dating somebody over a period of time and that person don't think of you as the wife material,
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
yeah, if you're dating somebody over a period of time and that person think you're not the wife material, you have to just move on. You have to just move on and maybe find the person who think you're a wife material and willing to, you know, put you beside it and beside him and call you his wife.
All right. So you get what I'm saying. If I'm 45, I have children. I'm 45. I have no children. But we have the same stipulation. These are two different women I'm talking about. One's for both 45, but one with kids, one without.
I
You will
know.
still marry the 45-year-old that has no children. You will still marry her without tasting the cookie.
And that's a tricky one.
Why is that so tricky?
Because she's now 45.
Yeah. So what's the
Man,
deal with the age?
she must have been around.
All right. All right. So you all see what I'm talking about. So the age now has something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I knew we were going to get here. So the age has something to do with it. So if she's 45 with no children and she says she's holding on to the cookie, I agree with you, Stushi. I mean, she's holding on to the cookie until she gets married and she's 45. And then here I come, I'm 45 and I have 5 kids. And I am holding on to my cookie. You're gonna disregard me like, what the hell you holding on to? That cookie done been bitten all around, all around. It ain't just the center left. But here she comes. She's the same age as me. And you're gonna say, well, she must have been around the block. So now age is going to make us fall into the same category, ain't it?
Maybe, maybe, maybe. And also depends on you connect with those individual. Remember, you can connect to a different individual on a different kind of level, right?
Well, that might be so. I mean, what if we were 25? Both of us are 25. And I'm at 25 and I have 3 kids. And she's 25 and she has no kids. But both of us want to get married before we have sex again or have another kid. What would you say about that? Would you still think that, I mean, she's a better shot than I am?
Not necessarily. What I'm saying too, yeah, you have to date somebody over a period of time. and you will
Mhm.
know and you will know exactly, what way you want to go with that person. If you want to
Mhm.
continue with a long-term relationship or a short-term relationship, it all depends.
All right. I get what you're saying. Perfect. Who is that? Is that Sheldon? Sheldon, that's you. Sheldon, this conversation we have in here. Oh, look at this one. Look at this one that my friend here says. She says the 45-year-old without children may come with a lot of problems. What you say about that?
But that's the reason why I said age play a critical role now, because
Go ahead.
no, age play a critical role because she's 45. I'll
Hmm.
be I'll be thinking there must be something wrong with this woman.
So yes, somebody says that's gonna raise eyebrows if she's 45 and she has
Of
no
course,
children. That is
exactly.
going to raise eyebrows. I really wanted to ask you, what would some of your thoughts be? If you can just tell me just a little bit, what would some of your thoughts be if you have to, if you come across somebody like this? She is
A lot will be going through my head. A lot. I'll be wondering if this woman, if she do a lot of abortion, if she do a lot of miscarriage, term,
mhm.
if she can get pregnant. That's one of the main thing I'll be thinking about. If this woman can get pregnant, and that even more scary now, because now you're gonna marry to a 45-year-old woman. You know, the chance with to have kids is
The
slim.
chances are getting right. The chances are getting slimmer, and then again, and then again, the risk also for the child, because having children, we know having children at a later age
Exactly.
usually,
Down syndrome and
have
all of
the
that.
risk, right? The risk for children to come with special challenges. I know that. All right. So Sushi said she was thinking maybe this woman has had a lot of abortions.
That's the same thing I was
We
thinking
know
too.
that. What if? I mean, that could be because a lot of people want to continue to appear pure, because marriage, even though I applaud the institution of marriage, I love the thought of marriage. It's entertaining to the soul when you hear about getting married and having this nice little nuclear family, and you and your husband working together, build a nice life, the kids have mommy and daddy at home, and all of this stuff. It's all nice and dandy to think about, to desire, to want. But for some of us, that hasn't materialized for many reasons. I mean, personal reasons. We don't want to get into all of that right now. But based on the choices we make, we don't. A lot of us don't enjoy that. And stuff happen, life happen, things happen. It's nothing to beat yourself over. But I'm seeing where a lot of people are holding on to themselves, denying and depriving themselves, unless they get to be married. And in the same breath, we also see a lot of these horrid marriages breaking down and still leaving them in the same position as somebody who had had the child without having gotten married. So, what I'm saying is, will marriage solve the situation? Talk
No,
to me. What do you think?
no, marriage can never solve the situation. Sometimes marriage just make it become more complicated.
Becomes more complicated, because if the woman forces you now to say you have to marry me before you get this cookie, and you marry her, and you know, like the cookie,
Then your
what
life, your life, sometimes your life becomes hell.
your life becomes hell, because you marry her thinking the cookie,
Would be good,
then you
no
find
good.
fault.
Exactly.
I
No,
mean, uh,
and what you do is, and sometimes you
you
can just
already
walk
marry her.
away. Exactly. So you
It's not
see,
so easy to walk away from marriage.
no, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When a woman telling you about married, 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 you have to think twice. As a man, what is this woman have up her sleeve? You understand? Why you just want to marry now? You know?
Stush Pumpkin, she is set on this. She is set on this test driving. She is saying it. Test
Right.
driving is essential.
Central.
Test.
It is essential. It is. I agree. I agree. And you see, as a
I do a
man,
lot of test driving, and
I
see
see.
me here, still old and unwed, divorced, and I mean, marriage don't guarantee anything.
So
There's
let me so let me ask you. So
true.
having sex, what that gonna take away from the woman? If the woman give up the cookie, what is that take away from her?
I mean, you tell me. I don't know. I
Uh,
mean,
she have been pleasured. You know, she would be
but
on
it
top
then
of on top.
mentally, I think mentally it does something to her, because knowing that, well, I have exchanged body fluids with this individual, I have gone to that level with this individual, and nothing came of it. I mean, it's like eh, there you go. There you go. Look at this, G. Look at this. Wait, not that one. Yes. Also, she could
Like
not like the
eggplant.
eggplant. She could not like the
Eggplant.
eggplant. And she could not like the eggplant, and she could walk away too.
Exactly. That's my
She could
point.
want to
We're,
walk away too.
exactly. So the both of us walk away and we say, you know, this is not what we want. But
Yeah,
she don't lose nothing. Me don't lose nothing. So what's the big deal? Why they so hung up about marriage?
I, I mean, where the marriage comes from. We are a biblical society, and we came up on all the biblical
That's the
verses
problem.
that
That's the
explain to
problem.
us how we should live, and we try to abide by them. Even though
That's
some of them seems complicated enough, sex being one of them, where as human beings and sexual beings, we can hardly stay away. We can hardly stay away from sex of some sort. So asking to be wed before you are laid, I don't think that's too much of an over the top expectation for a woman. I don't think it is. But in today's society, a lot of men are not into that, because society itself talks about it but doesn't even endorse it. So it's just like an off the wall talk where people are saying, "Oh, I have to get married before I have sex." But where is this being enforced? This is not being enforced anywhere. In the church, people are having sex and having children without being married. I mean, we are moving away from that. We're moving away from those ideas. I mean, I'm not here to discuss whether or not it is right or wrong. I am just saying that yes, sometimes the cucumber, the eggplant, sometimes it's not good either. We're moving away from the biblically, we are sort of moving away. Everybody's getting their independence, and they're not sitting down and be dictated to
so,
religiously to say, "Oh, you must." Because in that case, as Dwayne said earlier, these women gonna end up being old and gray and not having gotten married and not having gotten to have children, and they end up being miserable because they so badly wanted to have children, but they were not wed, and so they couldn't have children for fear that the church is going to ridicule them, family and friends and society, everybody's going to ridicule them for having had sex out of marriage. Don't you think that causes a lot of discomfort with women as they get older?
you see, a lot of women is about the image, and
There you go.
that's one of the big problem in the society. Image. You know, people should just live their life the way they see it fit, and don't worry about what society have to say. Instead, it's not all of us gonna get married. You know, marriage is not for all of us. You know, Some of us will get married. Some of us will stay single.
All right. So let me see who is here. I think when you lose is when you have been you giving all to a man over an extended period of time without marriage. Okay, this is a good one here. Look at this one. She says, I think when you lose is when you have given your all to a man over an extended period of time without marriage.
Well, yeah, I think that's a fair statement. I mean, over a period of time, you both must know how you feel about each other and can make up your mind at that point.
Yeah, yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm just smiling. My friend Sheldon here says he agree. Marriage is a rough road. Yes, we know marriage is a rough road, but hey, go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you, G.
No, I'm saying over a period of time, the both parties should know they feel about each other
Hmm.
and take it from there. So if you're with somebody for a period of time, you must know if you want to spend the rest of your life with this person.
How long you think is a period of time for the man to determine whether or not he wants to stay, or vice versa, for the woman to decide whether or not she should stay in a relationship that doesn't seem like it is heading towards marriage? How long is the period of time that is acceptable?
In my opinion, 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
So you want the woman's cookie for 3 years?
No, it's not just you're getting it wrong. It's not about just want the woman cookie. I
Oh,
have to
sorry. I'm
I have to
sorry.
see. Yeah, it's not about cookie.
I'm
I,
sorry.
I have to see what level we're on.
Okay.
The communication,
Okay.
the chemistry.
Hmm.
You know, we, we get along. We see things eye to eye. This woman easy to get mad and get upset. She like to shout. All these things that take into consideration. You're gonna spend the rest of your life with somebody. Do you want to be miserable, or do you want to come home feeling happy you're coming home? Because some of us have house. It's not a home. It's just a house.
All right. So Princess Cher says that 3 years is too long. Stush Pumpkin says she thinks 2 years is enough.
How far 2 years from 3 years?
Uh, 12 more months. So which one?
Take
Because
time
I
to
think both is long. I mean,
take
I
ti-
have spent
take
a long time.
take time to know her. It's
Take
not
time to
a
know her.
it's not an overnight thing.
It- all right. That's an overnight thing. Look at this. It doesn't take 3 years to figure that out.
There's a lot of things you need to know about each other. It's gonna take longer time will tell.
Time tells and circumstances tell too. Because
Exactly.
listen, a situation may not arise. Every situation that could arise will not arise in 2 to 3 years. It's different circumstances that let you see 12 whole months. That's one. It's different circumstances that let you see the type of person you are dealing with. Is this person loyal? Is this person true? Is this person honest? I mean, is this person there for you? I mean, how well do we connect? That sort of thing. So all the situations are not going to arise in 2 to 3 years. So I think if you're waiting for every situation that could arise to arise, you'll be waiting a lifetime.
No, you're not gonna wait for every situation. As a man, we know what we're looking for. Most of us,
Yes.
most most of us know what we're looking for.
Somebody here says when a man takes that long, he's weighing his options. That is true.
Not
That I believe.
necessarily.
He's weighing his option. Do I want to be here? Do I not want to be here? Um, he's thinking, I mean, should I stay? Should I go? Oh my God. Okay, now we have 2, 3 children. Should I stay because the children are here? Or should I just get up and leave? And a lot of times you find that these men are cheating. They're not being true to the relationship
I don't see it
because
like that.
they're taking so long to validate the relationship with marriage that it leaves the woman in la la land. Like, what am I supposed to do? What would you say to a woman who has been with you for 5 years and you have not popped the question? She has had your children. I think she has held up her part of the bargain. She has proved to you that she's a woman. She can be a wife. You live with her. She's cooking, cleaning, doing whatever she wants to do, and she's having your children. And she's with you for 3, 4, 5. What do you think would be holding a man back from committing to that woman? If you say it's not true what my friend here says, that they are weighing their options. You don't think so?
No, 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 no. I don't
So what
think
else
so.
could he be waiting for?
3 years, it looked like it's a long time,
Hmm.
but 3 years is not a long time because look, we have to understand you have to date this woman for a period of time, right?
Hmm.
You have to date for a period of time. And when I'm saying date, I mean just date for a period of time. Plus, when you get into a relationship,
Hmm.
that's time consuming. You could take 6, 7 months to date a woman. You could take an next 3, 4 months to get into a relationship with a woman.
Okay. All
So
right.
all these things you have to take into consideration. So I think personally, 3 years is a good time.
3 years is good enough time.
Yeah.
So if something happens in the 3 years, you jump ship. You gone.
No, 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 no. We're not talking about jump ship. You see, if storm come your way, you fight the storm. You wait out the storm.
Okay.
If
So
yes, then you're with this person, so you're getting to know each other.
mhm.
Yes, then, and then you're putting things in place. You might be putting things in place. You find out might be not, where you want it to be at the moment. So there's a lot of things you have to take into consideration.
Well, yeah, you see what Stussy said, if the milk free, why buy the cow? See, she said, why buy it if it's free? So if you can just get it like that, I mean, why worry about marrying the person if you can just, if you're having sex, they're having babies, all
Who,
that kind of stuff.
who talk about any babies? We're talking about being with someone for 3 years. We're not talking about having no babies. So I don't know, you guys just slip that one in. Come on.
Well, we're doing a lot of slip-ins right here. I
I
mean,
realize that. Listen, it's not about drinking no milk. You might take 1 year before you, or 6 months before you start drinking the milk.
but and you say you're not gonna stay.
That's a whole
All
different.
right, she said she not waiting no 3 years. I have I have waited for several years already. I never got a ring. I'm
eh,
like the poster child for everything bad that can go in a relationship. I've waited. I've waited for years with one person. We never got married. We broke up. I've hopped into a marriage in 2 days with one person. Still never work out. Break up. I mean, I've had sex before marriage. Still never work out. Break up. I have had kids after marriage, still never work. What in the world am a woman like me? What am I supposed to do? It's like everything I've tried, nothing works. I
you
mean,
know, good things come to those who wait.
wait. So you tell me I didn't wait long enough?
Maybe. Listen, and not just on that. Listen, maybe, but not. I'm not saying that. But listen. But listen.
Sheldon.
You know, sometimes, sometimes, if the bird is for you, it will come right back to his nest. You know.
Oh,
Sometimes we need to go out there and explore, and sometimes we find our soulmate. We will find that soulmate because all of us are a soulmate, eh?
you think so?
I know so. It's just that some of the one them who will never end up with the soulmate. The soulmate maybe Dead.
Uh, uh, I mean, the Sheldon is something else. So anyway, so Dwayne says sex and marriage is overrated. As long as the couples are in mutual thoughts and are compatible, that's a recipe for good love, and sex will come naturally without stipulation.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I'm sorry, you can't see what I am seeing here, but
That's okay. I don't
so,
want to be
I
seeing
mean,
it anyway.
somebody here changed the whole time talking about ice cream, but you can eat ice cream. Ice cream lovers, oh my God, it's my
Nothing wrong,
my
nothing wrong with ice cream.
my friends here are something else. Yeah, but the thing is, you made me even lose my chain of thought right there. Yeah, so I mean, you have to be compatible with the person and you have to feel that level of comfort with the person. That I understand, but that shouldn't
It take times. It take time. Nothing is an overnight thing. That's the thing with women. Most women, they all like to rush. We men like to take our time, cause we know what we're all about.
so
Most
you
men, most men know what they are about. Women is all about feelings for them. We is not about it's not about feeling for us. You understand? We are practical people.
so you tell me men are more practical than women when it comes on to relationships?
Yeah,
Okay. You
yeah.
wouldn't marry somebody after knowing them for say 4 months.
That's a joke.
Oh
That,
damn.
that that's a joke. 4 months.
Uh-huh.
My life can last for what? 50, 80, 90 years. Four
You wouldn't
months. No,
you don't marry
no.
nobody after 4 months.
That's crazy.
So for you, the 3 year stance.
Yeah, yeah. Remember now, this is a decision you're gonna make for the rest of your life, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know, you want to be sure you're making the right decision. It shouldn't be no rush into get married. It shouldn't be no rush. Both parties should think what they want and take the time. It shouldn't be no rush. Marriage not gone away. Marriage not gone away no. You understand? At the end of the day, it's just a piece of paper anyway.
I, I was listening to you. I got a little sidetracked there, looking at the things that my friends are writing here. I mean, so you still stand by your 3 years.
Yeah.
All right. So all that I've gathered from this conversation is that you think 3 years is a long enough time
Yeah, yeah.
for you to determine whether or not you want to be with a woman. She just done sacrifice 3 years of her life.
So what about my life? We bo- What about my life?
All right. Okay.
What about my life? I sacrificed 3 years too.
Where is it for a long run, Mama? Yeah, you know it's true, Michelle. Some men it's just a hit and run thing. Them not into the staying long in the relationship. Them just want to come, take a bite of the cookie and keep it moving. Before long, only thing left in your cookie is one chip.
That's
All
okay. Something still leave.
so yeah, I'm like bite and run, bite and run, bite and run. Eat ice cream and left the empty cone and all these good things. But but anywho,
That's not a
that's
bad
what
thing.
I
That's not a bad thing.
but I mean, that's what we get from that. And then you are saying that, I mean, it's easier for you to propose to a woman who hasn't had any children as opposed to following through with a woman who has had children who is going to now put stipulations on how she wants to move forward.
Right.
And you stand by those two positions.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you hear that, guys? You have heard that from a man. So we as women got to know how to, you know what Steve Harvey says too, think like a man, act like a lady, and think like a man, something to that effect. So So we hear from a man here where he says that 3 years is long enough for him to decide whether or not he wants to marry that woman. So he's going to date her for 6 months. He's going to marry her. After 3 years, he's going to determine whether or not she's wife material, whether or not he should marry her after 3 years. If he decides that after 3 years she's good enough to be married, to be wed, he's going to marry her then. Or he's going to cut it off and they go their separate ways. We also hear this gentleman says that a woman who has no children is a better catch, so to speak, than a woman with children. So he would possibly marry a woman without children quicker in the relationship than he would if he was dating a woman who has children. So those of us who have children, we got to listen up, you know. This is what the brothers out there are saying when they are looking at us and when they are trying to establish a relationship with us. They are sizing us up to our peers who don't have children. That's what they're doing. So like me now, I am here holding on to my cookie. You think the men out there who are trying to suit me are looking at it and says, is what she holding on to. You not got nothing left to hold on to, mommy. You don't have 5 kids, there's nothing to hold on to. Just run the thing. While another woman my age, they might say, well, it's okay that you're holding on to your cookie. I can embrace that and I will marry you and oh you know that sort of thing. So for us women, we have to take this stand. We have to take the positions for ourselves. And it's always good for us to know how the men are thinking. Because even though it's not one size fits all, where all men don't think the same way, it is good for us to know that these are the thoughts that goes through a man's head. And as women too, we have to accept our position and appreciate our position. I would have to be quite selective right now as to who I give those stipulations and where do I go with a relationship right now? Because what am I supposed to do? I mean, I'm human. I'm still a sexual being despite the fact that I have kids and I'm single. But do I still should I still lay down those ground rules to say, unless you marry me, we are not going any further? Sometimes. Yes, that's true, Michelle. Sometimes they just can't have kids. There are lots of other reasons why a woman would be like my age and not have any children. And for sure, I mean, what would you say, Mr. G? Your final words. What would you say to a woman like me? Now, I'm an older woman. I'm in my 40s and I have had my lot. I've had broken relationship, marriages that didn't work out, and I mean, I've stayed in relationships for extended period of time and still didn't get the ring, and I have jumped into a marriage that what I call a 2 days in and still didn't work out. So basically for me, I think I've tried everything and nothing worked. What would you say to me as a woman of my age going out now to try to start over, to get into a relationship with somebody? What do you think are some of the ground rules that I, with my position, should lay out? What do you think?
Well, I would say to you, um, you're in the game for a long time,
Mm,
so you know exactly what to look for in a man. And your children, them, they are a blessing. So you can look at them and feel proud
okay.
as a woman, knowing that you bear children.
Okay.
So because you're not new to the game, when you're dating a man, You should pick up things early about the man so you can know if this man is of any good because your experience
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you're going to use when you're dating. It's all about experience. Sometimes you have to put your feelings one side
Mm-hmm.
and be practical. Forget about the feelings sometime
Mm-hmm.
and be practical.
Okay. So I shouldn't have any right to lay down those ground rules. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that. You can lay down any rule you want to lay down.
Mm-hmm.
You have
But
that
you don't
right.
think I will be successful in finding somebody if I hold on to the cookie now at my age and say, well, I'm not letting go of my cookie unless I get married.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in that position to say that. I don't
So
know.
talking from a man's perspective, do you think people my age, suitors that I would be looking at or would be looking at me, you think they would they would appreciate that if I said that, no cookie unless you marry me, buddy? How you think people who would want to be my suitors would take that, considering
You know, to be
my
honest with you,
position right now?
you know, to be honest with you, um, that's a hard pill you're giving me right now. That's a hard pill to swallow right there. Um, you have different mindset
Hmm.
of men out there. We don't think alike. It's all depends on what the guy is looking for. So we are looking for different things in a relationship or in a woman. So it's all depends. You know, it's not one shoe fits all.
Okay.
So I can't really say, oh no, I yes, no. You just never know. It's possible. You know.
Okay, well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Mr. G. I appreciate your position on that. I'm going to be doing another one. We're going to continue this conversation, this very same conversation. We're going to continue this conversation another day, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure, but you and I are going to talk about it. We're going to continue the same conversation. Guys, what do you think? Should we continue this conversation? I think we should because there are just too many women out there who are in the same position like me who probably feels frustrated that they're being judged and they're being cast out just because they had their children. And as you say, G, that the children are a blessing. Certainly the children are a blessing, but put the children aside and talk about how does the mother move forward in another relationship after having the children, not being married? Is it okay for her now to lay down the stipulation and say to any prospective suitor, listen, unless you marry me, we cannot move forward? Like, that is now the prerequisite for me entering into any relationship, any sexual relationship with anybody. We have to get married before that and see how do men take that from a woman who has had children versus a woman who has not had children. Dwayne says Steve Harvey is the biggest hippo. Let me put this in. This Dwayne is something else. He says Steve Harvey, and he's shouting too, he's dead serious. He says Steve Harvey is the biggest hypocrite. That's why he's divorced 3 times and counting. You gonna leave my Steve alone. Well, he speaks from a man's point of view. He speaks from a man's point of view, and I get it. I don't agree with everything that he says. I mean, he's talking about 90-day rule and all this kind of nonsense. But I mean, it's something that some people hold on to, and I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. I mean, 90 days. 90 days is a long time. You know, when you start having a relationship, you'll be surprised to know how fast a relationship can move. A relationship can go from hello to we are in bed in a short period of time. It all depends on the people and the chemistry and the connection. That's why when we drink the water. Oh my God, Sheldon, you too much. He said, "Man, the cookie get too sweet. You have to drink water to sweeten." Oh my God,
to dilute it.
you're a mess. Okay, yes. So it is fair. Cher says she's holding on to her cookie, right, Cher? Here is Cher. She says she's holding on to her cookie. It's been almost 2 years, and she's still holding on. So she's still holding on to it, and she's still waiting. 2 years is a good time, and she's still waiting, and she's not giving up the cookie unless she gets married. So we know that that is sort of the newest fad that is catching on. So women are, holding you men off because y'all like to. I think I saw Michelle who said earlier that you all like to come and hit and run. So it's based on you all's action that women are sort of taking this position now. Y'all not gonna come hit and run. If you think you're gonna come hit and run, you ain't gonna do that because you're gonna marry me. So when you're running, you're gonna really have some thinking to do when you're running.
So let me ask you, what about the woman them who eat and run? You have a
What
lot of women. You have a lot of women who eat and run.
we're not hitting and running. We're just
Oh,
testing out the cucumber. If the cucumber not okay, we're gone.
okay, there you go. There you go. There you
Y'all
go.
agree with me, ladies? Of course, yes. If the eggplant ain't worth it, what we staying for?
Okay, so why would we stay?
We're not. It's not a competition, buddy. W-
It's
I
not a
mean,
competition.
I mean, if you are talking about a woman doing the hit and run, if the cookie ain't, if the eggplant ain't worth staying for, we are not staying. It's as simple as that. Because we have to have something to keep us engaged and entertained.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes, we have to. So if we're not engaged and entertained, we gone. I mean, we can leave too. Once upon a time, we used to leave this thing up to men where they say, "Oh, they leave us, whatever." We can leave too.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of women leave the man.
Yeah, we can leave too if things ain't suiting us. We leaving too. We can do that. That's not too hard to do, right, ladies? And I see Dwayne and Sheldon sort of riding the same wave. D- Dwayne is the him and Sheldon riding the same waves. They're talking the same thing where they are in agreement with you, Mr. G. The girls are not. Don't feel like. Okay, you see what Stush Pumpkin say? Every time I start saying something, I start trying. I'm not worried about finding a man. I ain't looking for one. I ain't looking for one. I'm not worried about finding one or not finding one. It's just that I'm not there are different expectations at the moment for them. And finding a man doesn't validate me, so I can live without them. I've been doing so for a while and I can continue to do so. So, but anyway, that brings us to the end of this conversation with you, Mr. G. I always love your opinions. I always love your thoughtful opinions on the different topics that we talk about. And I appreciate you always taking time out of your schedule to accommodate me. I can call on you anytime to say I want to have a live chat with you if you're up to it. And I really do appreciate it. I want to say thank you. Kudos to you. And
Kudos.
to my loyal fans and my loyal followers here who I can always who I can always depend on, who I can. Oh, listen, boy, go sit down all the way on the ground. You are a mess. Yeah, so I thank you guys. Thank you all for coming. I'm not going to keep you all too much longer. This boy named Prince is something else. um I thank you all for coming. Thank you all for joining me. There's so much going on my screen, everything. I need to learn to turn off my notifications. They're popping up everywhere and sort of distracting me a little bit. But I thank you all for coming here. Thank you all for joining me in this discussion tonight. Mr. G's gone and left us now, and I am going to be running off to work as well. So I thank you guys for joining me. It was a nice discussion. We're going to continue this discussion and other discussions about other topics that affect women. Considering that it's International Women's Month, we're going to be continuing to have some discussions about the different topics, the different issues that affect us as women. You hear me talk tonight about me being an older woman with children, and the prospect of dating seems like bleak. I mean, because we hear of people laying down stipulations for their next relationship after having failed relationships where children are involved and all that. And I look at myself and I say, these are the same kinds of situations that I find myself in. How hard it is to have a relationship when you have children, and when you lay the ground rule, people say, your time to lay ground rules are over because you already gave up the cookie and you already have children, so now it's sort of like everything goes. But don't let that stop you, my friends, from laying down your ground rules. It doesn't matter whether you don't have children or you have 10 children. Lay down your ground rules and stick to them. Let nobody force you to abandon what you believe is the right thing for you. So until next time, guys, this is Trev telling you all to always remember, take good care of yourselves and each other. Good night, Dwayne. And Sushi. I'll talk to you all over on WhatsApp for the rest of the night. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye, Share. It was nice seeing you. Bye, Michelle. Good night, guys. I'll talk to you later.